Hey guys, Dave here. This is The Legend of Robin Hood, a game for 2 players. It's from Operational Studies Group. I'll check to see what date it was printed on the inside. It had to be printed probably in 1979 or so. I got it at my FLGS for 15 bucks. It's punched, but I collect microgames, so I figured $15, why not? I needed this one. So let's take a look and see what this is about. I haven't actually opened it up yet. One of the most well-known tales in the history of literature comes alive in a game for 2 players as the daring outlaws of Sherwood Forest oppose the Sheriff of Nottingham, Sir Guy of Gisborne, and the evil Prince John. The setting is 12th century England before the signing of the Magna Carta. In the absence of King Richard, it is a land beset by the oppression of nobles and clergy whose only concern is their own well-being. As Robin Hood, you must gain the support of staunch friends such as Little John, Friar Tuck, and Maid Marian, rob the rich to give to the poor, and recruit a growing band of merry outlaws to give battle to the sheriff's men. As the Sheriff of Nottingham, you must ensure the safe passage of the wealthy through the area, tax local villages to raise money, capture and hang the outlaw leaders, and help prevent the return of good King Richard from the Crusades. Interesting. Let's look inside and see what these components look like. Alright, so that's just the cover. Counters look pretty simple, as I would expect from a game that's this old. See what this is. Maybe it's some errata or something. Errata for Robin Hood. Alright, let's see the rules here. Starts talking about the game equipment and the playing pieces, the counters here. It's showing what the different numbers mean. Personal combat strength, command ability, and movement allowance. And a summary of units. And game was made by Joe Bizio. Okay, let's go to the sequence of play since that's the most important part of the game. Okay, so it starts with the Robin Hood player turn. Robin Hood has his movement phase, then his combat phase, which consists of an archery sub-phase and a melee sub-phase. And then there's personal combat and capture sub-phase, and then a robbery phase. That's kind of cool. Recruitment phase, hanging phase. And then the sheriff player turn starts with a random events phase, followed by a movement phase. Then a combat phase, taxation phase. Like I was saying with the game I was unboxing the other day, it looks like you can't even escape taxes when you're playing war games. And then after that, okay, so taxation phase is the last one. And then it goes over setup. And it's talking about all the movement. It looks like there's secret passages also. Normally I don't like it when the previous owner highlights stuff, but he looks like he highlighted the stuff I actually needed to see. So in this case I don't mind the previous owner having highlighted the rule book. Alright, then we go on to combat. Effects of leaders on unit combat. That makes sense in a game like this because you're going to want Robin Hood to be give some kind of leader bonus. Return to outlaw units to play. Return to sheriff's units. And now captives, ransom, murder, and hanging. And gold, taxes, and robbery. And we have outlaw recruitment. And it's also talking about reinforcements, and there's disguises here. So this is kind of neat. This is a lot of mechanics you don't normally see like in a historical war game. So I kind of like how they got mechanics that are specific, you know, to the storyline. That's kind of neat. Okay, random events, traveler arrival, traveler movement, and it's got talking about the some of the main characters here, like Will Scarlet, Alan A. Dale, Maid Marian, Prince John, King Richard. Now it's talking about an archery contest. That's interesting. Oh, this even has marriage, Robin Hood's wedding. Interesting. This is cool. This is really cool. Is that the last page? Or Yeah, I think so. Then end the turn and victory. The game ends when any of the following occur. Robin Hood is killed or hanged. King Richard is killed or murdered. King Richard is present in the same box as Robin Hood at the end of any game turn. At the completion of the 30th game turn, so you can go 30 turns. Wow. If all sheriff leaders are killed or murdered. Sheriff victory conditions: wins if he has killed or hung Robin Hood or holds him captive at the end of the game. He also wins if he prevents Robin Hood from achieving all the 3 victory conditions listed below. So either kill or capture Robin Hood or prevent Robin Hood from getting his victory conditions and you win. Victory conditions for Robin Hood: he marries Maid Marian. King Richard is present in the same box as him at the end of a turn. The Robin Hood player must have fulfilled one of the 2 states below at the end of the game. Reduce the sheriff's treasury to 5 marks or less. So you're actually keeping track of the treasury. That's cool. Or have at least 20 marks in his treasury. And then automatic victory: Robin Hood automatically wins if he kills or murders all 4 sheriff leaders. And there's even optional victory conditions here. Should players find it too difficult for Robin Hood to win, they may agree to change the victory conditions so that he need achieve only victory conditions number 3 and one of the other 2 victory conditions. And it's got a rules index at the back, so it's only 8 pages of rules, but there's a lot going on here. This is neat. This is neat. Let's take a look at the map. Oh, did it say the year this was published? Oh yeah, 1979. Okay. I figured it was around 1979. Alright. Let me get the map right side up here. So the map looks alright for 1979. You got Sherwood Forest here, Nottingham Castle, Lincoln Castle, Gisborne Castle, and then a ruined castle. And this just says Merry Men. Interesting. Okay, and here's where your treasury is. Robin Hood's treasury, the sheriff's, the gold mark pool. Terrain key at the bottom. Turn record. Yep, it really does go up to turn 30. It looks like certain things happen on a few of the turns. And here's the tax table. And then a melee table. And terrain effects chart. I would have put the terrain key right next to it, but that's just how I would have done it. At least I got it on the map. That's good. So terrain has both a movement and, let me zoom in over there, has both a movement and a combat effect. And then we got an archery table here, and a recruitment table, and a traveler's box. Not sure what that is. Yeah, so this looks cool. I'm glad I bought this. I'll try it out soon, and I'll let you guys know how it is. This looks really promising. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. Have a good evening.